If you've ever tried to change anything in your life, a habit, a way of thinking, a symptom, and found yourself stuck, this is normal. You're not broken. Your body and mind are not fighting against you. They're trying to protect you. The reason change feels so hard is not because you're just changing thoughts or behaviours. You're asking your body to rewrite deeply embedded programs, patterns, algorithms built long ago to keep you safe and to keep the system running. These programs are not just in your mind. They live in your nervous system, your tissues, and your automatic reactions. They guide how you respond to stress, how you relate to others, and how your body reacts to the world and your environment. And they are powerful because they are connected to survival. They are instincts. And to understand why your body resists change, even when you want that change, we need to understand where these programs come from and why they exist. Think of your body and brain as a living computer. Over time, they write programs based on your experiences. These programs effectively are instructions that run automatically without your conscious awareness. They help you walk without every step, thinking about every step, talk without planning every word, and breathe without effort. But not all programs are neutral. Some were written during moments of pain, fear, overwhelm, danger. They may have formed when you were very young, long before you had words to explain what was happening to you. They may have formed in response to trauma, stress, or difficult relationships. And because they were built to help you survive, your system treats them as very important and essential. For example, if when you were a child expressing anger once led to punishment, rejection, or abandonment, your system might have written a program. It's safer not to show and eventually even feel anger. If showing sadness was met with shame, another program might say, stay strong, don't cry. And if speaking up caused conflict, a program may insist, just keep stum and please others at all costs. And these instructions don't just stay in the mind, they become embodied. They become unconscious. They shape muscle tension, breathing patterns, hormone levels, even immune responses. They influence how you react to life, how your body expresses distress, and in mind-body conditions, these programs often then later show up as symptoms: pain, fatigue, dizziness, and anxiety, etc. The symptom itself can become part of the program, a way your body tries to keep you safe, thinking you're still living in the past because we haven't yet updated what we haven't felt. If these programs are outdated, outmoded, or harmful, why doesn't the body just stop running them, you might ask? Well, because from its perspective, they are still keeping you safe. Your body doesn't care about logic or long-term goals. It doesn't even understand time in the way we do. Its priority is survival, here and now. Imagine your ego, that part of you that's an I, that runs the brain, the operating system of consciousness effectively, and your nervous system, which is your embodied brain, as a loyal guard dog. It doesn't stop to analyse whether every noise or burglar is just the wind. If something might be a threat, it barks. If anger might lead to danger, it suppresses it automatically without you even knowing. If fatigue might prevent you from pushing too far, it creates tiredness. And these responses can feel frustrating or confusing, completely inexplicable or random, but they are attempts to shield you from harm, from danger, from threat, even if the danger is now no longer real. And this is why change often triggers resistance. When you start doing something differently to the old program, the old running pattern, algorithm, or habit, feeling emotions, for example, that you once avoided because they endangered you, risked rejection, moving when your body expects rest, speaking truths when you once swallowed it down, your system interprets it as risk. It sounds the alarm. Symptoms will flare, anxiety will rise, and resistance is trying to defend you. Thoughts tell you to stop. This is not sabotage. It is actually protection. Inside you are many parts that develop to keep you safe. We can sort of think of them as inner protectors. They formed around old experiences and took on jobs like preventing rejection, avoiding shame, or stopping us being overwhelmed. They might appear as the voice that says, oh, don't go there when you start to feel sadness, or the thought that says you can't do this when you try and change something. They might tighten muscles to stop you moving too far, or create fear to keep you close to what's familiar. These protectors are not enemies. They are outdated versions of you, little you, still trying to do the job, a part of you trying to protect another part of you that once couldn't feel the things that she needed to feel that naturally had occurred. These parts don't realise that the frightened child or the powerless teenager isn't you now. They believe that the past is still present because we couldn't feel that feeling to completion, which of course would have switched it off. The only way we switch something off is by allowing it to complete its arc. And these parts need reassurance that things are now different, that it is safe to finally feel the thing we once couldn't. So a key to change is not fighting these protectors, but working with them. And when you meet them with compassion and allowing instead of frustration, they begin to trust the new ways of being are safe. And one of the best ways to do this is just simply being with them, being with that pain, with that sensation, and allowing it to be there, not resisting it, not trying to push it back or silence it again. This signals safety rather than threat. And over time, they will loosen their grip and they allow the new programs to form and update in relation to what's happening now. Much of what drives these programs lives in implicit memory, the memory stored not in thoughts, but in sensations, reflexes, and automatic responses. Implicit memory is why your heart races before you consciously feel afraid, or why you shrink back when someone raises their voice, even if you know you're safe. Because these memories are not stored as stories, you can't simply think them away, try and reason them away or talk them away, or journal them away. You need a new experience to update them, what we call a prediction error, something that, we always thought we did that, but actually we're going to change its prediction and we're going to do something and create an error. And this is a challenge to the old running program. This is where repetition of the new challenging program becomes essential. And the other video will talk about that. The more you practice a new response, the more evidence you give your system that the old program is no longer needed. And it's now okay to have an emotion, to speak your mind, to be you, to say no rather than yes, etc. Because it's not dangerous, even if it was when you were little. And if every day you gently feel the sensation that's now the front for, say, sadness, without being overwhelmed, without rushing up into your head or trying to cheer yourself up or smooth it away in some way, that part of you that once believed sadness was dangerous learns a new lesson. It's safe now. And you keep showing up despite your fatigue. Your body learns movement doesn't mean danger anymore. Each repetition rewires the nervous system, the brain, the operating version of you held in consciousness a little bit more, and weakening the old pathways and strengthening new ones. Because change can feel so threatening, structure is one of the most powerful tools you have. A regular daily schedule with predictable times for rest, movement, meals, activities, allowing signals safety to the nervous system, signals safety to the ego, the version of you that you think you are. It reassures the body that nothing unexpected is happening. And then it convinces this version of you, the ego, this version that you had to become to be safe, but it's okay. It's okay to do that. And in time, it will update the program. And this is so important when we are working with old programs. A schedule gives us a stable foundation with which to explore new experiences with repetition. It helps protect you from overwhelm and builds trust within the system. It takes the fear, the guesswork, the thinking over whether something is safe to do or not out. And over time, the schedule itself becomes itself a safety signal, a steady background that allows deeper change to naturally unfold. Rewiring old programs take time. Just as they weren't created overnight, they won't dissolve overnight either. These are real neurobiological events. We are an organism, and it takes time to grow new pathways and to prune out old ones. But every repetition counts. Every time you stay present and allow a feeling, a sensation, whatever it is, instead of pushing it away, you weaken the old pathway and you strengthen the new. Every time you act from trust instead of fear, you strengthen and enrich the new one. Every time we gently challenge a symptom by exposing yourself to it more and more, engaging, you teach your system a new opinion. Your body learns by experience, not by theory. If you do it, it's in. If you don't, it's not. If you avoid it, it's dangerous. If you move towards it, it's safe. It's safe the more you do it. It gets the message, and that in time will become automatic. You don't have to convince yourself intellectually you're safe. You don't have to keep saying you're safe, you're safe, you're safe. You have to show your body you're safe by being with the very symptom that you don't like, because that too will go if you give it your attention neutrally, by allowing it. And you do that by consistent, repeated, embodied allowing. And this is the key. When resistance arises, and it will, of course, because we don't, the old pattern will be saying, but this is what we do. Are you sure? Are you sure? Normally we avoid, we run away from, we challenge, we try and fix. Remember, it's not failure. It's completely normal. It's part of the process. Like any old computer, if you introduce a new choice, it will still offer you the old one until the new one becomes the default. It means that these old protectors are still stirring, uncertain about the new path until you've really committed to it. So instead of fighting them, meet them with compassion. Acknowledge their purpose. You're just protecting me. It's fine. Thank them for how they once kept you safe. And now speak to that part they were protecting and say, it's okay. I'm here. We can now express whatever we couldn't then to completion, bit by bit. And then show them that things are different now by simply staying. And this inner kindness is not weakness, it's how trust is built. And trust is what allows the system to naturally change. Old programs and inner protectors are not your enemies. They are part of your story, chapters written in times when safety depended entirely upon them. They shaped how you survived. They allowed you to become the person you had to be to stay connected, to stay safe, and to be included. But survival is not the same as living. And the fact that you're reading this, listening to this, means that somewhere inside you are ready for more than survival. You are ready to return to yourself. Change begins by understanding that your system is not broken. It is loyal. It is always doing the right thing. It is meticulously looking after you in a way you can't possibly imagine. Always trying to help you, trying to be authentic, trying to stay safe, trying to update. And with repetition, structure, compassion, time, and allowing, you can allow it to be taught a new way. The body and mind are always capable of rewriting their stories. These are just mechanisms awaiting for you to instruct them. And every step you take, no matter how small, each time you allow, is part of this journey home. In summary, your body resists change not because it's broken, but because it's trying to protect you with old programs built in times of need. These programs are stored in implicit memory and run automatically, but they can be rewritten through new repeated experiences. You don't have to consciously retrain your brain. Your brain will naturally rewire as a result of these allowing exposures and doing within a strict routine everything to change its opinion of what was unsafe now being safe. Structure, compassion, consistency always create the safety your system needs to naturally update itself. You do not need to choose a new thing. You simply become present and allow what's there to move through. And as it does, you regulate, you update, and the whole program starts to reconfigure with a bit more you included. And as it does, you move from surviving to truly starting to live over the coming months and beyond. step by gentle step.